Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. I have now in my possession a brand new MacBook Air. This is part of their latest series, 11 inches, baseline, so it's 2 gigs of RAM, 1.2 gigahertz processor. It's not a speed demon by any stretch, but it is actually got the specs on the box still. I can't even remember if it's a 1.4. Yeah, I'm sorry, 1.4 gigahertz Intel Core 2 Duo processor. I knew there was a 2 in there somewhere. I just wasn't sure where. Yep, 64 gigs of flash storage, so it's a solid-state disk in there. 11 inches, a GeForce 320M, 2 USB ports, built-in iSight camera, microphone jack, mini display port for video out, built-in Airport Extreme, so 802.11n. And then what was interesting about this particular MacBook Air, and it's not taped to the box. I've got it sitting on a box for a reason. I'll get to that in a second. What's interesting about this is there's no drive. I mean, in terms of like a classic disk drive, not just floppy disk, but specifically like a compact disk or a DVD drive. And what's interesting about that is some people have complained, well, there's no disk drive. Well, complaining that, a computer like this doesn't have some type of tray for a disk is like complaining that YouTube doesn't have some kind of slot to stick things in. Came out slightly awkward, but I think you get the point. This doesn't need any kind of removable media option, at least as far as like discs are concerned. The next upgrade to the MacBook Air, I believe 13-inch MacBook Air, has an SD slot, but that wasn't being sold at $150 off, so obviously I didn't get it. Yeah, so the reason why I have it sitting on the box, because obviously it's already been unboxed, is because I was interested in seeing just how much this whole package weighed. 4.4 pounds. And the reason why I was interested in that is because a few days earlier, as most of you had likely seen either through Twitter or the Facebook page, I had won a new notebook computer. This thing, right now, out of the box, weighs 5.5 pounds. Don't know if I would want to lug this around with me. Now, granted, this particular computer is got a nicer screen, a bigger screen, certainly, but it's also fantastically slower than the MacBook Air, likely because of the processor that's in this particular PC versus the processor that's in the Air. Again, a Core 2 Duo versus something that runs slower, and I'm just going to say that. Now, you might say, well, Chris, I could spend a few $100s on a netbook. You absolutely could. Not a problem. This is a netbook that I purchased a couple years ago. You might remember the video I did on that. It was an MSI Wind. That logo, by the way, is a sticker. It didn't come like that. It still works. It's nice. But again, it's slow. And, if you're looking for a decent computer, chances are you're not looking for something that's going to be slow. Plus, look at the profiles. Okay? There's a huge difference, literally a huge difference between the Air, specifically the height of the Air, and the height of, say, this particular netbook. So speed, thickness, weight seems to be about the same. This made of rugged plastic. This unibody aluminum. So another thing that I just wanted to, because a lot of people are saying, why get an Air when you can get a netbook? Another reason why netbooks are nice, yes, because they're affordable, and sometimes you get what you pay for. But one of the reasons I don't really like a lot of netbooks out there is because the keyboard is just so small. And I've got small hands. So it's not like my hands are gigantic, but these keys just are so just tightly put together, and I can always count on making 13 typos before finishing a single sentence, if not word. So that is much to, I would say, the detriment of the entire netbook class. And if you were looking for Apple to create a netbook, they've done that. And I think this was a bargain at $850 free shipping. Very, very lightweight. I don't think anybody could argue, even today, as a matter of fact, as luck would have it, Walt Mossberg had posted his review of the closest equivalent to the Air, and it was a distant runner, not just in terms of just specs, but specifically price point. He says, well, if this other company is trying to beat the Air, but they're not beating it on price. So already the Air, the base level, is a Mac is beating a competitive PC. I'm not the one to say that. Walt Mossberg is. So I'm going to go ahead and move this. Well, actually, I'm not going to move it to the side yet. I'm going to see if this is going to do what it's been doing to me. One of the things that I can't stand when I'm moving around with mobile computers, portables, luggables, as they used to be called back in the day, is they save power by going into suspension, but the problem is, theoretically, if this okay, I forgot I got to press the button on this one. Sometimes it takes a while to wake up. Like, it's got to resume Windows, and yeah, so it's got to boot up all over again. I'm like, ugh. Watch this. It's on. Instant on. I love that. Solid state disk, no moving parts in this entire machine. And I'm going to pull this, actually, give me a second, I'm going to pull this one. What's nice about the keyboard is it's this keyboard, the keyboard that I'm used to typing on. The reason why I didn't move that one is because I was afraid I was going to jar the screensaver behind me. But this keyboard is pretty much this keyboard, other than the keys on top are a little slimmer, not a big deal. The function keys, everything is pretty much laid out the same way as all the Mac keyboards. So I don't have to relearn. My fingers, the way, what do they call it? What is that called? Memory. What is it?
Muscle memory.
Muscle memory. Thank you. I've got Jake Luddington behind the camera, holding the camera, which we'll be doing. The camera that he's recording on, we'll be talking about it in a future video, so stay tuned for that. So I love that. And unfortunately, with a lot of these smaller computers, you get a smaller keyboard. Apple hasn't done that. They've given you a standard size keyboard, a huge trackpad along the bottom, and then, of course, on the side, you've got the one USB port, MagSafe connector for power. And I love that too, because inevitably this is what will happen. This is part of to me, the fit and finish of the thought that goes into a lot of Apple products. That's magnetically snapped in. Have you ever walked by a computer or some kind of device and tripped over a cord? It just pops right out. No muss, no fuss. So simple, and now standard on pretty much every one of Apple's portable products, at least as far as their computers. Well, I can't say computers specifically because the iPad and the iPhone are computers. And yes, I believe that. You got your headphone jack, USB port on the other side, and video out as well. As far as speed is concerned, it's not a desktop replacement, but it works quite well. I'm very happy with what I've seen this be able to do. Surf the web, check email, do basic things that I would want to do on the go. You'd say, why would you have an iPad when you can get one of these? Well, yeah, sure, if that's what you want. I'm likely to use this if I know I'm going to need some kind of computer experience, although computer experience. I have computer experience, obviously. If I need something that is only on the desktop, I don't want to carry around my MacBook Pro, which I love. I absolutely do. It's a desktop replacement. I love it. Great processing power. It's a Core i7 in there. It's a great computer. This is also a good computer, not a powerhouse, not designed to be a powerhouse at this point in time. Other people have said that it runs Windows very well, and one of the reasons why Macs run Windows very well, not in a virtual machine, not in emulation necessarily, definitely not emulation at this point, through Boot Camp, because when you install Windows on a Mac, you get likely the cleanest Windows install experience because Apple doesn't layer all sorts of third-party crap on top of your Windows install. So likely, if you're going to install Windows on a Mac, you're going to find yourself having one very happy PC. Not going to do that on this particular notebook computer, largely because it's only got a 64 gig solid state disk, so space is kind of at a premium, and I don't want to squeeze out as much as I can through. Let me try that again. I don't want to lose disk space to Windows when in fact I would likely be connecting to Windows on any one of my other PCs, whether it's through VNC or some other kind of terminal services option. So very, very lightweight. Walk into an Apple store if you can, and you really get a good feel for how well designed these things are. This is not some piece of cheap plastic. Extremely lightweight. If you're a traveler, you're on the go, you need some kind of computer with a keyboard, the MacBook Air may be an option for you. I'm very grateful that it was on sale for $150 off, legitimate and everything. Not gray market, not black market. It was a real brand new MacBook Air. I was shocked. Who saves $150? Unfortunately, on a Mac, unfortunately that offer is no longer valid because they only had limited supply. But I would say that in terms of my use, video card runs well enough. Not amazing, but if you're someone who again is on the go, looking for a good travel companion, if the iPad doesn't trip your trigger, or if you wanted a complimentary computer with a keyboard, I would say the Air is a pretty good bet. I'm not the only one to say that. PC enthusiasts have said the same thing. Bought it with my own money. Bought this one with my own money. Won this in a contest. And yes, I'm still using this, absolutely. But, despite, I shouldn't say despite the size. This thing's gigantic. I'm not going to carry this thing around with me. There's no way. It's just impractical compared to this. And plus, this is faster. And I'm not saying that design-wise it's any better or any worse. Everybody's tastes, they're going to be different. But as far as a portable machine goes, you want your machine to be portable. And you don't realize that until after you've carried it around for hours and hours and hours and hours. You want something that's lightweight. When Apple came out with the Air, for the first Air, I was like, who would buy this? It wasn't for me. I wouldn't have purchased this at all. But I saved $150. I'm like, okay, fine. You're begging me to buy this because it's a beautiful machine. You cannot deny. And there is no single competitor. The closest one is still priced at a higher level than the MacBook Air. So I guess it's not just a first. Apple's products are starting to become priced reasonable to the market. Think about all the tablets that are out there. They have to be priced instead of high, like some of them have been, they have to be priced like where the iPad is. They have to start base level at the $500 mark. You can thank Apple for that. Even if you don't like Apple, if you don't like the iPad, even if you don't like the Macs, they're really starting to price these things very competitively, and these are very well constructed machines. It's not just about the hardware, it's not just about the software, it's about the entire experience, and the MacBook Air is no exception to that. I'm very happy to welcome this into my family of computers. As you see, I'm a biosexual. I run both Mac OS X and Windows in my home. Very happy to do that, considering I'm an MVP for Microsoft and the Windows desktop or the client experience for consumers. I don't know. What do you guys think? Had you considered getting an Air? Would you consider getting an Air if you could have saved $150? Be interested in knowing. We have coupons.lockergnome.com set up for you. May have some discounts for any products you want to buy, Mac, PC, whatever. And of course, keep an eye on my Twitter feed at Chris Pirillo, at LockerGnome as well. We have Facebook.com/Chris Pirillo, Facebook.com/LockerGnome, because we will often post these very, very, very good deals to those feeds. They'll never make it to YouTube. So if you're not following us there, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, and you can also join us at myspace.com/LockerGnome. Do you realize we've gained 10,000 MySpace friends in the past week? I can't believe it either. I don't know where you guys have been hiding all this time. But however, MySpace may be dead for some of you. I guess it's not dead for geeks. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Either way, let me know your thoughts. Do you have an Air? Would you get an Air? Do you not want an Air? Why don't you want an Air? What would you consider as a classic competitor? Not just in terms of price, but specifically in features. This one's hard to beat. It's so hard to beat. Beautiful machine. Beautiful machine. Let me know your thoughts. Chris@Pirillo.com, the blog chris.pirillo.com, lockergnome.com or lockergnome.net. Then, of course, we also have a live video feed that has a chat room. We're geeking out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.pirillo.com. Will you later.